14. Shit. One more episode to go. What is this one? Strike last, strike hard, strike first, strike last. And it's your boy Icon with a Netflix television review for you. Going over that Cobra Kai. Before we get started, hit the notification bell, like it or subscribe. Check out my other videos up on my YouTube channel. Let's help boost those watch time hours. And let's get started with some Cobra Kai action. So the Sekai Taikai, the finals have arrived. And Daniel LaRusso did a very cool thing. Because since Miyagi-Do bowed out gracefully from the tournament, and Johnny Lawrence is once again the sensei of Cobra Kai, and Miguel Diaz is back with the snake on his back, Daniel LaRusso, he repurchased the old Cobra Kai dojo and gave it back. And he did it in Johnny's name and gave it back to Johnny. And because he was like, hey, if you're going to do Cobra Kai, you might as well do this shit right. But he told him, he said, make sure you turn Cobra Kai into something good. Do it your way, not take all the good from your sensei, you know, take all the good that you learned from me and everything, and turn Cobra Kai into something cool and something badass, which is their last chance at victory. You know, then the LaRussos spoke to Tori. You know, Tori was just like, I don't know what I did to deserve, you know, like all this, you know, like love and admiration. And then, you know, like his sexy wife said that, you know, what she did was, you know, she kept fighting, you know, and again, like, you know, God helps those who help themselves, and like people will be there for you, you know, as long as they see that you're willing, the dedication and everything to try. She never even spoke about the fact that Sam decided not to fight. That never came up in conversation, which is cool. Like I actually like that. It didn't turn this whole thing like, oh, you think you're better? Like it wasn't that whole thing. Like she just stopped. You know, Miguel had a conversation with Johnny, and Johnny even told him, he said that, you know, back in the day, he said LaRusso never should have beat him in the first Karate Kid movie, because he said he only trained for 6 weeks. And he was like, I was a 2-time All-Valley champion. LaRusso trained for 6 weeks. There was no way he should have beat me. But he said that the reason why he beat me was because he was fighting to honor all the lessons he learned from Mr. Miyagi, whereas like, you know, Johnny, he was fighting for revenge. And he said that's why he lost. So he told Miguel, he said that when you're out there, make sure you fight for yourself, not for anybody else. So now it's fight time. And the women's final was first. And of course, you know, Zara, she starts by getting in Tori's head by saying that, you know, like she's the prettiest and everybody in the valley loves her. And, you know, beating her is another notch on her black belt, just like doing Robbie or whatever. And that was actually never confirmed. Whether or not the two of them actually like did the deed was never really confirmed. The most we saw them do was kiss, whatever. But so now it's like, but now that she said that, it's just like now like she's all up in Tori's head. So Tori's upset. And she's coming at her. And the thing with Zara, because she said, she's like the Arabian hurricane over here. So, you know, like she's lightning quick, like she's fast, like she strikes and moves, she sticks and moves. And she was catching Tori off guard. And Tori was getting frustrated because she's trying to hit her and she can't hit her because the girl don't keep still. So eventually Tori ended up losing the first round. She went to go talk to Johnny. And then Johnny was trying to like give her advice, but her mind was so flustered and she was so all over the place, she couldn't hear what Johnny was trying to say. So then that's when Robbie came over, and then she was just like, what are you going to tell me to center myself? You're going to give me some advice to stop a flying tornado, you know, that waves at the audience and kisses to the fans and everything. He was like, actually, no. He's like, I wasn't going to say shit. You know, then she was like, then why are you here? He was like, I just wanted to tell you that I loved you. That's all. And I support you and everything. And then once he said that, clarity of mind came over her. And then she calmed down. The two of them kissed in front of a live studio audience. Like all the cameras were watching. All the attention shifted from Zara over to Tori. And what made that cool was the clarity of mind allowed Tori to figure out how to defeat Zara. Because the thing with Zara is she does all the jumping, she does all the flipping, she does the moving around and everything. She hits you, then she runs away. Like she hits you, then she runs away. She hits you like five or six times, like really fast, and then like she runs away. But the thing is, the reason why she can hit you is because you're chasing her. You're like trying to get her. You're running after her. She's flying all over the place and you're trying to hit her. You can't hit her. You can't hit her. And then when Tori got back on the mat, she just like went into the pose and just stopped. She didn't try to chase her. She wasn't running. Tori just stood there. And that's the thing. Zara's whole fighting style is dependent on you chasing her. Don't chase her. So when Zara tried, and because of course, like Zara's ego, when she sees Tori just standing there, Zara's like, well, okay, then since you're not going to come to me, I'm going to come to you. And then once she gets close to you, once you pull her in, now I got you, bitch. You know? And then Tori hit her with a barrage of like different types of moves. quick moves and then she used some of her own moves against her too, because she ended up doing like the back, like some of like the flipping backflip moves, and she caught Zara with a couple of backflip moves. She got two knockdowns on her, I believe, so she got 10 points for that. I think she picked up like 6 or 7 points just off of like regular strikes, and then in the end, by her doing like some triple barrel, upside down Flint rubble bubble cake, like type thing. And I don't understand how Zara did. Like Zara just stood there and just, it was almost like Zara in that moment saw what it felt like when people fight her, because when she starts with the flipping and the turning and the spinning, people are just like looking at her because they're just like in awe of what's happening, and then she just catches you and knocks you out. That's kind of what happened. Tori did the exact same thing, and while Tori was up like rotating in the air, Zara was just there like a deer in headlights. Tori kicked her dead in the face and knocked her tooth out, and I thought that shit was hilarious, because this bitch was talking mad shit. Like she's been talking shit since the beginning, and it was one of those things where, like, after she knocked her out and she had to pick her teeth and her respect up off the floor, and then they said that the winner of the women's championship is Tori Nichols. Tori walked over to her and said, "Welcome to the Valley, bitch." And I don't even know if Zara was conscious to even hear the trash talk, because the thing about it's bad enough that, well, not bad enough, but it's like it's already cool that Tori beat her. But it's like I wanted Zara to be able to hear the trash talking. It's like I wanted her to hear it's like she couldn't even hear the trash talking because Tori knocked her into like next Thursday. So, but that was it. Tori Nichols, like she reigns supreme. She is the Sekai Taikai Women's Champion. And for her, that's really cool. Like, that's dope. And it's also good for Johnny Lawrence, because the funniest thing, like when you first start watching Cobra Kai, Johnny Lawrence in no way, shape, or form was the type of person who embraced female fighting and female competitors. So the fact that a female is the Sekai Taikai Women's Champion under the tutelage of Johnny Lawrence, of all people, that's hilarious. And he's a girl dad now, so he understands like the strength of like women and everything. But he was still, and it was also funny because like they were training, there was like a training montage with Miguel and Tori and Johnny Lawrence where all the other kids and everybody came in to help with the training, and he was telling like Tori, he was like, "Yo, stop being a pussy." And I was like, I don't know, like, is that just me? I just thought that was funny. So that's it. But that was it. Like, congratulations to Tori Nichols, your Sekai Taikai Women's Champion. And because of that, I believe she got Cobra Kai 5 points behind Iron Dragon as far as like the dojo winning the entire Sekai Taikai. During the interlude between the women's fight and the men's fight, Daniel LaRusso, he was in the hallway, and then he saw Terry Silver, and then he said to Terry Silver, he was like, "Oh, like that was a really good fight, right?" And then the Terry Silver told him, he was just like, "Yeah, but it's not going to amount to anything." He was like, our guy is gonna kill. He's gonna kill Diaz the same way he killed, like Robbie Keane, and we're gonna reign supreme. We're better than you. And then he goes, the victory that Tori Nichols got, that wasn't a victory for you. That was a victory for Cobra Kai. He's like, the dojo that you thought you killed, still ended up winning at the end of the day, and they're still on the podium. And he said that he was like, even if Miguel Diaz ends up beating us, he said that's not a victory for Miyagi-Do, that's a victory for Cobra Kai. And he was like, and to see Cobra Kai reign supreme as champions, that has to eat you up inside. And then he was just like, no, actually, it doesn't bother me because, one, he was like, me and Johnny are friends. He was like, I gotta love, he said, like, Miguel's practically my son-in-law. He was like, I got a lot of love for Tori. And he was like, haven't you heard? He was like, Cobra Kai never died. And I was just, but for Daniel LaRusso to say that, for him to come to like that epiphany, to like his accepting of Cobra Kai, like that just speaks volumes for like everything, like in the entire series, which is also cool to see. And now on to the men's championship. Axel versus Miguel Diaz, and his nana was there, his mom was there, like everybody was there to watch Miguel Diaz. And I am gonna say this: so when the match started, like he told him, he was just like, give him hell. He was like, show no mercy. Because at first Johnny was like, don't worry about the points. And then, Miguel was like, no. He said, Tori and I, we can make ground up. Like we can bring it back. Like we can actually win the whole thing. So he was like, fuck it, that's badass. Go for it. They saw Sensei Kreese in the audience. Like, they bowed to Sensei Kreese or whatever. And then, so now like the fight begins. So when the fight started, Miguel came out like a bat out of hell. And for Axel to be like the unstoppable force and the immovable object, Miguel got 5 hits off him really quickly, and Axel didn't even touch him. And what was cool about how he did it, first of all, because of the AI training that the binary bros gave him. Because remember, when Robbie was training for the Sekai Taikai to fight Axel, they gave him those AI goggles that turned Miguel into Axel, and the goggles were telling Miguel what Axel would do. So to an extent, Miguel kind of already learned how to fight against Axel because the AI program told him what all of his moves were going to be. And what was cool, like if you go back and watch, the way Axel fights, like he uses his strength, he'll grab you, he'll throw you away, he'll punch you, he'll knock you back. Like he creates space between you and the opponent. But what was cool about how he was fighting Axel was whenever Axel would try to like knock him back, whenever Axel would forearm him and knock him like 5 feet back, on his way 5 feet back, he would throw an elbow out and hit him in the chest. He would push him and then he would strike him and punch him in the face. So he was hitting him, he was using like his own momentum. Because the thing is, once Axel pushes you or once Axel like knocks you back, his guard is down because he thinks he got you. So for you to kick him on your way to the floor, that was a good, like Miguel scored like 5 quick points. See, but then the problem was, his sensei got in his head and he was like, "What are you doing? You're disgracing us all." He's like, "Get in there and be a machine." And then the guy Axel got mad, and then he basically just like went to town on Miguel. I think he got a knockdown on him too. So Miguel got 5 points in the first round, and then Axel ended up getting like 16 points like in the second round for the knockdown. And then after that, then when Miguel got knocked down, like his captain's headband like fell off of him, and then he was upset, and then he went over to Johnny, and then he was just like, "Sorry, Sensei," he was just like, like I let him beat me up, and he was like, "Yeah," he was like, "That's basically what happened." He's like, "Of course you got beat up." He's like, "You gave him the business, he gave you the business. That's what happens in a fight. That's how a fight works." But he's like, "But what's important is you have to take every single thing that you've learned." He said, "Take everything, all your losses, your victories, your pain, your suffering, everything that you learned from me, from the LaRussos, from Tori, from Robbie." He's just like, take everything you've learned from everybody and use all of it. And he said, "This is the third and final round. Give this son of a bitch everything you have and show him no mercy." And then when he tried to put the captain's headband back on, Johnny was like, "Forget this bullshit." Johnny took his own headband off, and he put his own black headband around Miguel's head. He's like, "Now get out there and kick some ass, Cobra Kai." He's like, "'Cause you're a Cobra fucking Kai." And again, like I said in the last review, the show Cobra Kai, this is the Johnny Lawrence Miguel story. This is their story. So although Robbie's his son, this is, like I said, this is him and Miguel's story. So Miguel gets in there, he hits him with the ice, and like I said before, you don't stop the Blue Beetle, goddammit. You don't stop Jaime Reyes. Miguel went in, he started doing the damn thing. But there was a moment where Sensei Wolf and Terry Silver, his lion ass, they decided to cheat again because he said to Axel that he's already had spine damage. He's already like had his spine broken or something before. So he said that when he pivots, he leaves his back open for an attack. So you can take him out right now. You can damage his spine and you can make it permanent. And then that's when Axel started feeling bad because he was like, "That's not how I want to win." And then he was like, "You'll win the way I tell you to win, you son of a bitch." And they threw him out there. So now the two of them are fighting and Miguel's just going off. Like, they're going back and forth like they're trading strikes. Miguel's hitting him. He's kicking him. He's punching him. He's slapping him. He's tripping him up. And then there was a moment where he turned and he pivoted. And then Terry Silver was like, "There's your moment. There's your moment." That they wanted him to kick him in the back so they could hurt him and like damage his spine. But in that moment, Axel chose to have honor, and instead he went for a leg sweep. And when he went for a leg sweep, Miguel basically did like an aerial flip, kicked that son of a bitch in the face and knocked him out. And then he scored a 20-point knockdown. He defeated Axel, and Miguel Diaz, the nerdy kid with the freckles and the braces and the short haircut who's getting the wedgies and picked on at school, is the Sekai Taikai heavyweight male champion. And that was cool to see. Especially because, I was rooting for Miguel. I was rooting for Robbie, too. I was hoping for Robbie to get something besides second place. And now Robbie, because Miguel's in the mix, like, Miguel is now first place. Axel is second place, which means Robbie came in third. So, like, Robbie gets the bronze. It's like, he's like the Joey Wheeler of, of karate. But to see Tori and to see Miguel, the two poor kids, like, who have nothing, like, who came from nothing, who came from humble beginnings to emerge as like champions. Like that was cool to see. And even Daniel LaRusso had to give it up for Cobra Kai, and even for Johnny Lawrence, because Johnny Lawrence, like he brought, like, this is the new Cobra Kai, like he said, we're bringing it back to where we're bringing it back to the beginning, but now this is going to be your Cobra Kai the way you do it, and now people are going to know that Cobra Kai is still not only the baddest dojo in the valley, but now they're the baddest dojo on the planet, or so we thought, because then the Russian dude, he grabbed the microphone and he said that surprisingly, for the first time ever in Sekai Taikai history, because you have your individual champions, your women's and your men's champion, and then you have your overall dojo champion who acquired the most points. It turns out that it ended up being a tie between the Iron Dragons and Cobra Kai. And it should come down to Cobra Kai, because the name of the goddamn show is called Cobra Kai. So it's Cobra Kai, versus the Iron Dragons, but they said it's a tie. And the way that they break a tie is you have a one-on-one match for all the marbles versus the senseis. And when they said that, I couldn't stop cheesing, because like I said before, this is Johnny Lawrence's story. This is like Cobra Kai is built on Johnny Lawrence and Miguel Diaz. This is much as of a redemption arc for Johnny Lawrence as it is for like Miguel Diaz. And now Johnny gets a chance to do a few things. One, he's never fought in the Sekai Taikai, and Kreese even said, you could have gone on to great things. You could have been a Sekai Taikai champion if it wasn't for me. So now he gets a chance to actually compete on the grandest stage of them all, but he also gets to fight for his dojo. He gets to fight for his kids and everything. It's like weird, because everything Johnny wanted, because he said, I don't know how to not fight. I'm here to fight. I'm here to be badass. I'm here to be a win. Don't be a pussy. Be a champion. Now it's all riding on his shoulders. The admiration, the glory, the redemption for losing to LaRusso back in '84. Everything now rests on the shoulders of Johnny Lawrence, and I fucking love that shit. I actually love it. And he walked over to LaRusso, and he asked LaRusso if he could train him for the fight. And I think it's even more cool that not only is everything resting on Johnny's shoulders, he's asking Daniel to be his trainer. Who Daniel LaRusso, who knows nothing about Cobra Kai, and he's all about Miyagi-Do. And it's like Apollo and Rocky territory, and I'm here for it. So now the two of them are going to train, and they're going to see if Johnny can bring it home for the Valley and for everybody. Which is going to be cool. I like this, because I haven't seen the finale yet, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. And then epilogue, we get a post-credit scene apparently where Terry Silver, he's on his yacht. And that same long-haired Samoan-looking dude that had beef with Daniel LaRusso back in the day, we find out that he was the one that lit the other guy's furniture store on fire. That was that was a Terry Silver thing. Terry Silver said, I don't want to leave anything to chance this time. He said, if it comes, he said, I know for a fact that Sensei Wolf is going to kick the living shit out of Lawrence, but just in case, I need some insurance. And he told his henchman, he said, I want you to go kidnap his wife and his baby. So then the guy was like, are you sure? Because he said there's a difference between, burning down furniture stores and kidnapping people. He said, just get it done, and, my yacht will be yours as like payment. So the guy leaves to go kidnap the wife and the kids, and then he goes flying back downstairs. He wasn't moving. His eyes were wide open. He looked like he was dead. And then when Terry Silver went upstairs to see what happened, you saw Sensei Kreese standing on the yacht. So the two of them started talking. He was like, I should have put you down a long time ago. And he was like, it's me who's going to put you down, old man. This is all I got left, and you won't take this from me, and blah, 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 and everything. The two of them spoke. And then they started fighting. The two of them started fighting. They're two older guys, so it wasn't the most, there wasn't Zara out there. But, Kreese ended up, Terry's still in shape. So Terry Silver, he ended up getting the better of him. But there were propane tanks that were off to the side when the two of them were fighting, and one of them got knocked over and started spilling. In the beginning, because Kreese always has the cigar, he threw the cigar on the floor, and then, he threw it at Terry Silver, and then two of them started fighting. Terry had him down at one point. He had his elbow in his throat, and I guess he was going to kill him and choke him out. And then right before he choked him out, Sensei Kreese grabbed his cigar, he threw it over at the gasoline and the propane, and then when Terry Silver looked over, and he saw the cigar on its way over to the propane, Terry Silver said, no. And then Kreese said, mercy. And I thought that was funny. And then the cigar hit. The ship exploded. The yacht exploded. Well, the henchman guy is definitely dead. We're going to assume, like I said, I haven't seen the finale, so I'm going to assume that Terry Silver and Sensei Kreese are both dead. But in the world of television and Hollywood, we didn't see a body. And as long as we don't see a body, there's still a chance for either one of them to still be alive. Maybe they jumped off the ship. Maybe the blast like knocked them into the ocean. There is a possibility for both of them to still be alive, but we're just going to operate under the assumption that they're both dead, because that ship exploded like pretty badly. And I was shocked, because I'm just like, how you kill Sensei Kreese and Terry Silver at the same time? I'm like, I mean, well, Terry Silver, like, he had cancer, but I'm like, damn, like that was actually pretty. That was sad. Like, even the way it ended, like the music, the end credit music was sad. But yeah, that was how episode 14 ended, with us losing 2 characters. And thank you for tuning in. So, yeah, Sensei Kreese is gone. Terry Silver is gone. Now it's just Sensei Wolf versus Johnny Lawrence for the battle to end all battles. The Karate Kid saga, you know, of Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso. The saga from '84 ends with Johnny Lawrence fighting for glory, fighting for the championship, being trained by the kid who defeated him with the crane back then. And we already saw Sensei Wolf kick Johnny Lawrence's ass like 50 million times so far. So I don't know if he's going to win. Like, I want that for Johnny. Like, I want Johnny to win. Like, I want to see him reign supreme. I want to see him get the victory that he's been chasing all these years, for him to be badass and to regain the glory that he once had. But we'll see what happens in the finale. I will review it, and we'll talk about it together, because I love me this Cobra Kai shit. And I'm definitely going to watch that movie, that Karate Kid movie that's coming out with Jackie Chan, because that should look cool too. So like I said, yeah, so let me know what you thought about this particular episode of Cobra Kai. What do you think about Sensei Kreese? What do you think about the end of Terry Silver? What do you think about Miguel and Tori being champions? Zara getting her teeth knocked out, and Axel finally, like having some honor and everything. And let's share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below, and we will continue to talk about it. Check out my other reviews, because I got Harley Quinn up on my channel. I'm still trying to get to the Captain America. We're going to do the Captain America. Like I said, check out my wrestling reviews, because I got wrestling up on my channel as well. NXT Vengeance Day. And that's it. And we're going to keep rolling on. One more episode of Cobra Kai to go, and we'll bring it to you, and we'll review it for Red Eyes Entertainment, as always, as I bring you all this goodness. So that was it, guys. So thanks for tuning in. This is a packed one. I can't wait for the finale. One more time to go. And for the champions, the baddest dojo in the planet, Cobra Kai. We're out this.